The Bunker Project, podcast episode number 71.
Really, 71? I can't believe it.
And we've got some new music.
Yeah, I don't know how many people in the room have actually listened to our show, but yeah, this is a new season starting today with a huge crowd. Exactly. In our little tiny room. Okay, I'm going to throw the mic over to James. James, you're hosting a meetup here tonight, as well as the Bunker Project meetup. So give us a lowdown on that group.
So, tonight I decided to bring in some hooligans.
Yeah.
It's the Social Media Club of Vancouver. It's the third Wednesday pub night. So we thought we'd bring them down to drink some beer with us and do the podcast. So.
And fill the room. Holy crap. I mean, there are a ton of people in here. We were expecting 4 or 5 people, and we got like well over 3, 4, 8, 10, 12.
Well, there's
many
There's
people.
supposed to be like another 6 people still showing up.
Wow.
Later on.
Okay.
For the second show.
Standing room only here at the Bunker Bar.
Definitely a record crowd tonight.
Yeah, and it's all because of you guys. So
Actually, it's all because of you, James.
Wow.
The most we've ever had on the show is 14. And that was packed because we weren't expecting it. Just people came in more and more and more. It was crazy.
I think we had more when my parents showed up over at the St. Regis.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, they didn't talk.
Well, they have a big social media crowd that follow them everywhere. So
It was pretty cool talking to your parents, though. So I could see where you got your eyebrows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, wait until I'm like 65 and you'll see.
yeah, you have to wear sunglasses around you with a flare coming off them, dude.
So will we be doing that through telecommunication of telepathic style by then, you think? Or?
Yeah, I'm going to get my chrome
You're
eyeballs
talking
put in by
about
then.
the
Yeah.
Microsoft MindPad?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Because that's at least 20 or 30 years from now, right?
Yeah.
You never know. Maybe 15.
So let's reel it back down to...
Hey, was that a
Social
digression?
Media Club
Everybody,
of
our
Vancouver.
first digression for the evening. So bottoms up. Excellent.
Drink to digression.
Yeah, that's a bad sign.
Actually, can we
This early in the
can we
show.
get Kemp, the president, to say something?
And now, the president.
Testing. Are we unmuted?
Yeah, come right in tight on that
Yeah,
mic.
we're pretty
okay.
good over there?
Yeah,
All right.
you're
Cool.
happening.
Okay,
Hit the
as
mic.
long as you can hear me.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're not familiar with Social Media Club, it's a multinational organization around the world founded in the United States. I think there's chapters in over 76 countries, and it's just about people who want to share their knowledge of this new communications medium. I think 80 years ago we might have been called the Telephone Club, and what people cobbling together their telephones, with a few little hammers and some nails. So yeah, it's just really about getting together and sharing, our love of a communications medium that joins people together.
And drinking.
Well, drinking is often part of a lot of social things in our modern society, so we definitely don't hesitate to enjoy a triple vodka and soda once in a while.
I was chatting with somebody, and he was comparing the way we used to socialize and drink back in the old days. I'm an old so-and-so. But he was talking to his teenage son, who's like 18, 19, and, they talk about binge drinking, all this problem. They don't drink hardly at all compared to the way we used to drink. And then back in the 60s, it was like the 3-martini lunch. It was a lot easier to drink while you were working. It wasn't frowned on so much in the executive suite. Much cheaper.
Yeah.
So really, it's just tame drinking compared to the old days.
You mean the Mad Men era?
Yeah, even before that, the really crazy days.
Yeah, before your birth.
Yeah. Yeah, 1943, I think.
Most definitely.
Anyways, because we got so many social media mavens in the room, I just want to do a quick survey, a quick Facebook-style survey. How many people in the room have been in social media more than 1 year? So I would say about 92% of the room. How many people have been into social media 6 months or less? So like 2 people. That's awesome. That's great. So we need real basic questions from you guys. Like we had Satomi used to come in here, and she was awesome. And we'd be talking super high-end social media stuff. And she'd come in, what's a URL? And then we digress into a URL explanation for 10 minutes, and then boom, boom, boom. And then she'd ask another zingy question. So what's a hashtag? And I think that has massive value. Oh, here's our bartender. Anybody wants a drink? It's a good time to order one right now. All right, a new guest. Hey, well done.
You made it last chair
Yeah,
for you, sir.
exactly. We got a live mic table for you.
Yeah, we got 2 chairs. So is
All right. So as we're getting more drinks, I guess we should get back to the show.
Well, I was going to ask you, is a Euro like one of those venereal diseases?
So soon into the show, it digresses.
Take a drink.
Yeah,
Got
exactly.
a drink when you digress.
So what we're going to do tonight is we've got this wonderful document from HubSpot. I actually briefed everybody in the show prior to this, and basically it's the marketing myths on social media. And what this guy went out and he I think it's like 8 myths.
What's the guy's name?
Oh gosh, he's the guy he's their
Dan
main
Zarella.
content provider guy.
So if you're not familiar with HubSpot or
All
Dan
right.
Zarella, you must learn about him. He
All
considers
right.
himself a social media scientist.
Yeah.
So he's a data analyst around social and the way people use it, and the guy knows what he's talking about.
Well, there you go. So
And he backs it up.
he does. He backs it up with data. So the first one, number 1, social media is for conversations, not broadcasting. And that's the first myth. And the best hamburgers are made from sacred cows is the quote, which is awesome. Really what he's talking about is content. So to start off the show, let's talk about content, the importance of content, and what you consider content. Anybody up for grabbing a mic, or should I just jump in myself? Yeah, the quiet one in the back. Yes.
Yeah, definitely. Content is at the core of what's happening here, and people definitely want to find valuable resources through their exploration of social media. I think when we look at broadcast versus conversation, is if you're only broadcasting, well, then you're probably not an interactive individual in the space, and you're using it to push your messaging. It works for large companies and large organizations with a reputation and a history of passing on this information, but it, on an individual level, if you're a real estate agent, just RSS feeding and pushing information out and never listening and interacting is not going to get you anywhere. If you're CNN or Coca-Cola and you have a massive amount of content behind you and marketing dollars, the broadcast medium is going to work. But I think there's kind of I would want to separate those two to go with individual and the company with a marketing budget, because conversation is so key for the individual.
I think that the key is you can't build community just by broadcasting. But what he's showing in his research is that, for example, Facebook pages with more comments don't get more views than Facebook pages with less comments. And backing it up with data. So that was surprising to me when I saw that.
Well, I think it just means you have an active, engaged community when you have people, doing those engagement things, liking, commenting, sharing.
And and then another point would be, what are views worth if they're just views and people aren't engaging in your content?
True. I think Facebook's now showing people how many people are clicking through on their posts. They've moved to a new metrics analytics system that moves a little bit away from some of those soft metrics to more hard metrics around people actually taking action. And I think the big thing about social media is that we're trying to become, if you're an organization or an individual business that's trying to use this medium, is you're trying to be front and center in the mind of your customer so that when they need your product or service, they reach out to you. And I think a big part of that is the building brand awareness and brand reputation.
Okay. Sounds to me like you know what you're talking about, dude. Okay, we got a couple of regulars just goofing off.
Yeah, we're actually...
It's the danger of having an iPad.
Like an HTML5 image there.
Actually,
animated alien.
Actually, Kurt's just showing me a Microsoft app running on his iPad for Xbox Live. And,
Oh, cool.
It's actually got my avatar here hanging out with his Swarm hat and all the kind of stuff that I carry over to, promote stuff that I enjoy on Xbox Live. And it popped up and it made Kurt really laugh.
Well, I would definitely say that's a digression, so everybody can have another drink.
But isn't this the serious thing?
Yeah,
you've
that
ever
is
seen?
awesome, man. Getting back to content, one of the things it does mention in here, which really stands out, just blasting out content or starting up conversations for the sake of starting up conversations doesn't work as well as somebody's kind of doing a strategic approach to their content. So being a specialist in a specific type of content, social media being a good one for this group, and curating knowledge, one of the big things, and this is one of my beliefs on the internet, there's so much stuff out there that it's impossible to actually be exposed to it all, even if you're doing it, 10, 12 hours a day. So if you can find somebody who is a good curator that is into what you're into doing, they can do 4 or 5 hours worth of research for you, which you can skim through in 20, 30 minutes and get a day's worth of content.
The human filter.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that is the new paradigm for the internet, because we've got to a point where we're producing the equivalent of the I think it's the beginning of mankind all the way up till 2005 or something. All the content we created, including all books, all movies, all speeches, everything up to that point, we're reproducing once a month or something like that. It's ridiculous how much content we're creating right now. So it's impossible for anybody to be really able to provide all the content by researching it themselves. They just don't have enough time in the day. So the use of, absolutely. The ability to be a curator is critically important. Okay, we got somebody going to jump right in.
Hi, I just wanted to mention also, when it comes to the curation process, which honestly is quite essential these days, don't forget how important it is to put your personality behind it. Just telling us a little bit about why you're curating the material is putting that personal touch that, quite frankly, on social networks is the thing that everyone's really looking for. And that's coming from Stephanie, by the way.
They're looking for human interaction.
That's at
not
Wildfire.
robot.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got to do some personal.
Yeah, as I lean over this mic with a big smile on my face, I say.
No, but she's completely right. I mean, if you're a funny person, be funny. Like it would suck if you try to be serious. I mean, that's probably the hardest thing for a person to do if you're creating good content. I mean,
Well, being yourself, it's one of the hardest things to do is be yourself, because it's very hard to be conscious enough of yourself to be yourself. It sounds strange.
Yeah.
But if you're honest enough to go up to people and say, hey, when you hang out with me, what type of person am I? You're kind of an easygoing, blah, blah, blah. If you ask enough people, you'll really understand that, yeah, I'm kind of a casual, easygoing guy, or I'm a very strict, by-the-line ABC type of person. If that's how you're perceived and you're comfortable with that persona, that is the type of communication you should be doing. Don't have a jokey, humorous, weird personality if you're a super straight guy, because if you get recognized for the jokey, interesting, quirky personality, and then people expect that of you, then it becomes a job to be your personality online.
Kind of like George on Seinfeld.
Yeah.
When everyone tried to get him to be funny, and he said, hey, I'm not funny. My character's funny.
Yeah, my writers are funny.
Yeah, the
All right,
writers
Bob,
are funny.
I want to ask about where does the need for your social media come from?
When you say need...
When you're explaining all this and you're describing the type of person that you might be and how you might interact with social media, are you talking about coming from a personal standpoint or from a business standpoint?
I think a business can have a personality. I mean, if you're working for a large organization and you have a relatively switched on marketing or C-suite bunch of guys that get social media and say, you know what, you represent our company and we like the way you interact online for our demographic because you're kind of a cool skateboarding dude that's, weird but not outrageous, then that's the reason they're interested in having you do that thing. If you get hired to do social media for a company or get involved with a company and they become your client and they say, oh, we want you to be X, and that's not you, then you're just asking for a whole pile of trouble.
Yeah. Well, what I find with clients, and again, I'm the developer, I'm the programmer. I'm not a social media maven at all, and this room is full of them. But I'm the guy, I don't like to tweet, and I enjoy Facebook for my friends, but I'm not that active. And I heard a conversation in the room here early before we started that I hate Twitter, I hate Facebook, and I won't do it, and that's fine. But what I have to tell clients is that I don't tweet, but my business does. And I don't use the Facebook and I don't use social media, but my business does. And that's a fact, and it really does have to that way. But my whole point is that with all this social media and the interaction with the Twitter and whatnot, right now I believe that's the type of person. That's not everybody trying to be or interact with tools, it's already that personality within you that draws out the need to use these social media tools in the first place. And it will evolve over 5 and 10 years where we can all then use it as a de facto item of communication without having to think we're doing social.
Camp?
I would just defer to Maslow's hierarchy of needs here.
Oh, it's just a bit of science there.
Economics
Gotta say.
101.
We gotta go back to that. And the only reason I say this is that why do you do social media? And I think as human beings we require a few things. Sustenance, enough to feed us, water enough to make us get there, enough clothing and shelter that we need to, if it's hot, cold
Enough
enough
bandwidth.
to live.
Yeah.
If we get there. And social interaction. And not every human being requires this, but as our earlier guest mentioned, is he uses Facebook to connect with family and friends, and I think we're all social human beings, and that's what's driving this revolution is the human nature and the human need to be social and to have social interactions. A 106-year-old woman in the United Kingdom can now use Twitter to be social and engage with people from her hospital bed, and I think that's pretty inspirational and amazing.
Yeah, I saw something on one of the networks, and it was this older lady, and she was teaching a bunch of older people that were like in their 80s, 85, how to use social media, and she was older than anybody else in the room, and she was having a blast. I think there are different types of personalities. You know, the thing about standing up in front of an audience, most people would rather die.
Fear of public speaking.
Yeah, exactly. And stand up in front of like 30, 40, or 100 people and say, hey, this is my speech, and blah, 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 and accept it and hope they don't get booed off the stage. There is an innate fear of doing that. I think social media, through your monitor and stuff, enables, it's kind of like a safety zone. People feel that safety, that they're not actually in front of millions of people or hundreds of people. They're just there in their personal space, their living room or their little closet that they have their computer, and they feel safe. So they are protected by the anonymity. Thank you.
Let's go to the other end of the spectrum, though.
All right.
Okay. As you said, you've been around for a while. I think there's a generational thing. I call it the fear doctrine. It's kind of opposite to what you described, where people feel safe from the distance. There's a lot of people who feel fear because this is a public medium. Who's going to see it? What am I going to do? Oh, I don't want to start a blog because people will see what I'm reading. And this is something a lot of people tell me when I'm trying to get them started off. And the reality is no one's going to find anything that you're posting unless you tell them it's there.
Yeah, if you're lucky.
Yeah. Exactly right. So, this whole idea around the fear around it is something I'm constantly working to dispel for people is no one's stalking you on Facebook or trying to hunt you, and no one's hacking your Twitter account. Yes, but if you click that thing and you enter username and password on that nefarious site, yeah, bad stuff might happen to your account. But the problem is a lack of understanding around what's happening and what's possible. And I think the fear doctrine prevents a lot of people from entering. But I think we all kind of present our own roadblocks because of how we feel about things and what we really want to do.
Absolutely. Well, and also I was talking to my mom and dad the other day, and I says, hey, so, why don't you set up a Facebook account and then we can back and forth? And he said, no. I don't want my personality to get stolen. I said, what do you mean? He said, we saw a thing on CBC 3 months ago that said if we started a Facebook account, we're going to lose everything from our bank account.
Fear doctrine.
Yeah. So basically what happens is when people are watching TV or they're reading an article about social media and they know nothing about it and everybody's talking about it, so number one, they're starting to feel I'm disadvantaged because of it. And somebody said something negative, they will jump all over that negative to support their ability not to do it. No, I don't want to do it because this person says it's dangerous, so now I don't have to worry about it anymore, which is a classic human mechanism.
Yeah, there was a Facebook post that was going around that said, in order to prevent hackers from stealing my identity, could you unsubscribe from my feed so that way nobody can see what we're talking about? And that was like the biggest load of
hooey
yep. that I had seen, and I had to post at least 5 or 6 times on a couple of people's different profiles saying like that's not true. Like, I mean, that's your privacy settings.
Yeah,
and they were like, and it was like, like the I'll like your status to know that you've done that. And it was the silliest thing because it's like a lot of these people are in the entertainment industry. It's like you want people to be subscribed to you.
Exactly.
And, you actually like it totally is that fear thing that people are pushing. to be like, oh, you might get your identity stolen, but it's the same as if somebody's walking by, uses an RFID, and steals it from your credit card in your wallet.
Well, there's even okay. I was that's another one. Is like a friend of mine's got an aluminum wallet, so somebody won't steal his ID. And I said, dude, do you shred all the paperwork that you throw in the garbage? And he says, no. Well, it's a lot easier for somebody to go by and find your bank statement with all your banking information and steal your ID that way than to actually spend a bunch of money and time figuring out how to use an RFID, saddle it beside you, and steal some information. It's all there on the paper. And people, really? See, hello, you're just you're unconscious of that. And because social media and all these new mediums are out there, they're newsworthy because they're topical and it's going to sell papers and advertising. That's what's front and center.
Yeah,
just like phishing.
I actually find I feel a little bit more safer being on social media because if I'm using Foursquare, at least people know where I am. At least some people can actually identify and be like, hey, James was here and then he was here, so it can kind of provide almost like a paper trail if anything ever happened, right? So.
Absolutely. Well, it's before we have the next question, I'm just going to jump in there with the full Foursquare is that it's a good habit to log in when you're leaving the establishment, not when you're going in, especially for women.
But
how do you get the deals then?
Well, you still get the
Well, what about forecast? Then you're telling people where you're going to be.
What about, I guess that's true.
I in the future, on Wednesday the 14th, I am going to be at this Starbucks. Maybe.
But I mean, with Foursquare, you can also turn it so only the people that own the establishment can see who you're hanging out with. I mean,
that's true. Just your buddies.
I mean, there are some privacy settings.
Yeah.
You got a comment here,
dude.
Okay, so just like a bit of an add-on. And then
right on the
question.
mic. Yep.
Oh, sorry. Some of the misconceptions I find pretty funny. Like when I'm on Twitter, I'm always, if I'm at a movie or at a restaurant or whatever, I like to announce it. It's fun. You let people know you're having fun. But like I have friends who don't want to say that they're doing something because they're convinced like people are going to break into their houses. And that's completely ridiculous. And kind of as a follow-up, what's Foursquare? I don't even know.
No way. Awesome question. Okay, who wants to take that one? Who wants
I'll
to
take
say
that
who?
one.
Oh, come on. Somebody else must have wanted to talk on this.
Foursquare is used by less than 4% of the general population.
Elise, is it?
It's Philly.
Philly's, Elise, close enough in the social word?
Close enough.
Close enough. Hey, you're going to help us out with that question.
Yeah, so, Foursquare, I was actually just on it, and I just checked in. So Foursquare is a social media platform where when you go to different venues, you can check in. And then what I like about it is that it syncs with Twitter and Facebook, so you can let your networks know where you are. And that's basically it. And like Kemp said earlier, when you go to different places, like a bar or perhaps a restaurant, you can also get deals when you check in, like a free beer or free fries or stuff like that.
If you go to Rogue Kitchen and Wet Bar, they'll buy you your first beer.
I'm there.
Yeah, I got another piece of advice for you. The Dockside Brew Pub. If you check in there, you get their beer sampler for free.
So
six of their home. They have a brewery there. 6 of their brewed beers. So.
Jeez,
and where's that?
That's in Granville Island on the east end in the Granville Island Hotel.
I'm there. I'm taking the little ferry boat there.
You can take Doc West there.
Yeah.
So that's in the U.S. There's actually a whole lot more Foursquare action going on, and people are actually putting massive amounts of tips. Checking in isn't really the cool thing. The cool thing is checking in and then seeing all the great advice about what to eat and what to drink.
Oh, yeah, that's what Ian was saying. Ian was saying, because I never understood people who like get a massive following on Foursquare because like I don't know who that person is eating it. But then he was saying, he was at a restaurant, people are saying, don't order the special.
Yeah, I mean, when I was in
good advice.
When I was in Florida, I actually would check around and see what was actually going on, and that helped me choose a lot of the restaurants I went to. Also, they've combined with American Express now, so you get like $10 off if you use your American Express when you check in. Show Foursquare.
Cool.
So, but also if you're at Preston's, which is a restaurant in town, and you tweet that you're at Preston's, you get a free dessert.
Well, lots of tips in the back.
And I'd like to add on to, again, something that Camp said. I'm actually based out of Seattle, and when I come here to Vancouver, what I like to do is check out where my friends are eating at. I'm a big foodie, so for me, it's nice to be able to click on where they're at, and then I can save the location and then save a tip. And so then when I come back, I can just go back to the list and figure out what a good place is to go eat at.
Hey, I got a question for you. There's a lot of foodie bloggers, which is another great way to do social content. And they're always talking about all the different places in Vancouver. Do you follow anybody in Vancouver?
I do.
Yeah, who's your favorite?
The one that I like on Twitter is @GourmetFury. Her name is Mel.
Oh, really?
She runs one of the Vancouver food tours.
So what you do is here on your Twitter, and there's the link. You click on it, it takes it to your blog, and then you read review, or you just read the Twitter comment.
Mostly Twitter and Facebook.
All right.
And
So
then
I'm just wondering if you're driving through, right? Because one of the strategies of using Twitter, if you do have a lot of content, let's say you're a foodie blog, you say, check out this amazing restaurant, or Granville amazing deal. And then with a link, and you click on that link, and it takes you to your blog post, which drives traffic to your blog. And if you have advertising in your blog, that's helping to pay your salary. And then you read the article, the full article. Yes, Ken.
Yeah, that's something that I just thought about is there's not enough people aggregating foodie blogger stuff for cities. So if you want to get those advertising dollars, if you're aggregating the RSS feeds from these people who are creating all this content, you don't really have to do a lot of work, and you can basically be like, hey, we're the hub for all the top foodie information in Vancouver, Seattle, Florida, whatever it is.
You'd still have to find out who the best people were, right?
You got to dig. You got to do your digging. Go out to a bunch of foodie events, shake a few hands. Like, I've met Melody before. She's pretty awesome. She's really dedicated to what she does, and she does tours. So she'll take out-of-towners around to 4 or 5 restaurants in a night, so they can enjoy and see all the foodie experience. And I think,
Hey, I got a quick question. You get a foodie as a food person. Is a wine person a whiny?
It's a wino.
Well, it's an okay wine, but I don't know.
Wino.
Connoisseur, yeah. Wino.
They're winos.
They're wino.com would be awesome.
All right,
the best
so we're
wines.
26 minutes into the show, and we're only on
But you
myth
can also
1.
follow at. So if you're
Yeah.
if you're in Vancouver and you're interested in like delivery and takeout, things like that, there's at Foodie app, which is made
Sweet.
by Invoker, and they'll show you the radius of the places delivering. So it's an easier way to figure.
Another
it out.
black for me, please.
We've got an amazing bartenderess. She comes in, and she's just doing the room right now. But she's so used to it, she steps over the cables automatically instead of trundling through. Like
She's a bunker
Very
project
impressive.
veteran.
she is a veteran. So we're going to go to myth number 2, just to move it right along here, folks. Please retweet doesn't work. And there's a sense if you say please retweet, people don't retweet. And this guy says that if you put in please retweet, you get 20% more retweets.
It's
so
true.
if you don't ask, you're not going to get. Right? So that works here on social media.
Not 20% more. Please retweet gets 4 times more retweets.
But if you look further on, because this is all stat
You
driven,
still have to have good
it
content.
says, 3 times more. Yeah, I guess so. If people are following you, because they'll unfollow you or don't believe
I'll
you.
look and say, okay, is that worth me retweeting? If it is, okay, I will. If I don't think it was, I don't care how much you ask, I'm not going to do it.
But all things being equal, if you say please retweet, you get more retweets.
Yeah, and actually, if you say RT, you get less than spelling it all the way out. And we're talking about on Twitter, like one character is a lot. You only get 120 characters because... No, 140 is too many because 120, so other people can put their name at it, right? So that's more etiquette driven. So you really only have 110, 120 characters, including the blank spaces between sentences or micro sentence
between,
spaces. Yeah. So to add that, it's got to be worth it. But he's saying it's worth it.
He's saying that spelling it out, please retweet.
Yes.
It's 3 times more retweets than please RT.
Yeah, because it's I don't know. Acronyms never work for me.
I think it's that you're really giving the message to people that you really want them to help you out.
Yeah, it's a call to action.
Yeah, I find it works. The only reason to use RT is if you're short on characters, right? But it definitely works. And those people who generally is people you know personally or people who have a strong affinity to you, that will do that for you.
Yeah, exactly. Any questions from the Peanut Gallery before we jump on to our next topic? Gee, that was a quick one. I don't know. We just didn't digress enough. All right. Andrew, you were pointing at something? I just skipped right by one. Oh, damn. I was going to skip one over. Okay.
Don't mark it on the weekends.
Yeah, this is an interesting piece because he's saying that because there are so many people out there that are using social marketing or social tools to market, that you should be tweeting and using and updating your Facebook account or whatever
During business hours.
During the peak of the business hours. And he's saying, well, it's better to be doing it when there's less stuff happening because you won't be drowned out by the hundreds and hundreds of millions of people that are actually posting, which I think it makes sense. There was actually a business book written.
Well, that came from the whole myth came from businesses who are doing traditional PR would put out the press release on Friday afternoon, right at the end of the business day, so hoping that the media wouldn't catch on to it over the weekend and wouldn't break the story because something else would come up.
Yeah, the provincial government in BC doesn't do that ever.
There you go.
But things have changed in that social media. MailChimp.com did a huge study on email marketing, and they were saying like later on in the week and weekends is when people have time to browse and to click on the links.
Yep.
So and evenings is another huge time. So peak times during the day, people are working.
Yep.
They're not as much looking.
It all depends on who your target audience is. I think.
True.
Exactly.
Very true.
I think if it's youthful and you're using Facebook, Friday night and Saturday are key. It's pre-party, post-party. You know, if it's B2B customers, you got to understand that 50% of workforces in North America lock out Facebook and Twitter during the workday. So those people aren't going to have access to your content or any of your information.
Except from their phones.
And don't forget, it's international.
Yes, except from their phones.
Yeah.
Yeah, which
Those are
well,
the
yeah,
Peters.
but only 20% of the market have smartphones. There's 60% of the market that aren't doing it.
I will disagree with that one.
Hey, and don't
Big time.
forget your own analytics. That's where you really need to look because it's your audience, right?
Yeah.
But if you're like trying to get people in Europe, like, you know, you're not going to post it during
Our time zone.
our time zone. No.
Yeah.
I mean, you know.
Well, I was looking at a study saying what are the peak times in different parts of the world, and it's true. If you have an international audience, if you're tweeting out at noon here in BC, in Paris, you know, it's a different time of day. It's actually a different
8
day.
p.m.
Thank
8
you.
p.m., 8 hours.
And then in Hong Kong, it's different again. So they were saying if you're going to retweet in 8-hour increments
That's
for
what
your
Guy
international
Kawasaki
market.
does, actually.
Well, he's an international guy, isn't he?
He posts his things on 8-hour intervals, so everything every 8 hours it goes out. It's good to use a scheduling tool to do that.
Yeah, I hear there's some awesome free scheduling tools out. One I can't mention because of a conflict of interest, but
I heard there's one that just had 3 million users. Just
Drop
reached,
off?
Just got to 3 million users actually. I
It's
wonder
based in Vancouver, I think, that one.
oh, I know that one. It's got a bird in the name, Hawk something.
Hot Sweet. Hot.
No. That's the online
Oh,
dating
that's
one.
a dating one. Yeah.
Yeah, awesome.
I have no
Awesome.
idea what you guys are talking about.
Yeah, it's okay.
I think it's Hootsuite. Hey, wait.
Hootsuite. Oh, yeah, that's the one. That's the one. Definitely, that is the one. Hootsuite. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think the only reason I'd follow something like that is they have this amazing university section, and the
Who-
guy that
who
runs the
tweet you?
I
university.
see someone wondering what's going on. He actually, this
No.
guy over here.
No. Yeah.
No,
But if you want to,
At one time, that guy over there did actually run that program. It belongs to somebody else.
Yeah.
well, that's what I'm
had a
saying.
big,
It's much
deal.
better now than it used to be.
Thank you very much.
but if you want to send your congratulations, it's at Invoker. So
Really?
yeah, that's the
That's
guy.
our
who won.
CEO's Twitter handle.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. Yeah,
Well, let's give him a big.
Yeah, definitely tweet out to @InvokeR, all one word.
And don't forget to do the
INVOKER.
the bunker thing so he
Tell
checks
him
us out.
congratulations. And
Get
use
shocked.
use the hashtag Bunker Project, all one word, when you do that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And you're
that's-
like, what's this bunker place, man?
Yeah, not to worry. While looking in this room, you know, the interesting thing is the new colloquialisms that we're starting to use.
Ah,
All one word. We never used that before. Now with social, you use all one word. Yeah,
Hey.
it's Kemp Edmonds, all one word, @gmail.com.
Oh, you know, that might be a
kind
new
of
thing in the dictionary. You know, that they add
Maybe
7 or 8
a whole
words.
other project, Bunker Project podcast.
Yeah,
on
the all
new
one word.
colloquialisms.
I think the Hat Maven's going to like myth number 4.
All right, Hat Maven. Okay.
And that is don't call yourself a guru.
Yo! His company name's Guru, I think.
Don't call it a comeback. I've been here for years.
Well, he's actually saying that's a good thing. Toot your own horn. And this is kind of a Canadianism, like Canada being so polite. That's what the Americans call us. We're so nice and polite. We just don't say, hey, I am the best at X. And if you don't believe me, the hell with you. That's kind of the American statement. And Canada say, well, you know, I've dabbled in it a little bit.
Well,
The Canadian version, dabbled in a little bit, is probably PhD level compared to the American. So you got to step up and brag about it and say, hey, dude, I am a guru. And if you don't believe me, check out my blog, check out my tweets, because I know what I'm talking about. You
know,
gotta
that's
back it up.
exactly
You
why
gotta
I-
back up your statements.
That's exactly why I did that. In fact, was to say that. And you can go to some Chinese restaurants, some other Asian restaurants, and on the window they'll have, and not to poke fun at Asians, but they'll have on the window, good Chinese food. And it's just a translation thing. They're trying to say it's the best, but when it translates here, it just comes out to good.
Yeah,
So
which
why-
in Canada works because wow, that's excellent, gourmet level, amazing. So what's the name of your company, Kurt? I can't remember it.
That's Web Guru.
So Web Guru. But you shouldn't you be Joomla Guru?
Spelled differently, though.
But yeah, he spells it differently. It's a
Goo.
different spell. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
like you in magic.
Yeah,
The
exactly.
ultra dyslexic
Well, you
spelling of magic.
G-O-O-R-O-O?
Like the Japanese
Yeah.
spelling.
No,
Guru.
Yeah, GOORU.ca.
Yeah. Wow.
In fact, I pass this on to every client who says, "Oh, why should I have extended information on my site? Why should I have resources or FAQs or information that I'm not selling?" I said, "Well, you're in business and you're having a site here, brick and mortar on the internet. You are an authority in your business."
Yep.
Oh, I am. Well,
Yeah.
yeah, you are.
Hello.
People will be Googling a specific thing within your keyword array. And if you've got resource material on your site that states something, you are an authority.
Exactly.
So the effect of bio words on followers. Official has the best response. Founders next. Speaker is third, and expert is fourth. Guru is fifth, and author is sixth.
And his mumbler is seventh.
Yeah.
So he mumbles a lot. Oh, somebody ordered shots. What is going on? Whoa, a bunker special.
Yeah, I told them I'd give them shots, and they asked again.
Excellent. Well done.
that
Hey, if you
actually-
don't ask, you don't get. And that's
that hasn't happened
the theme
since,
for the show.
I think that might be
Satomi
the
was
theme.
doing
If you don't ask,
tequila
you don't
shots.
get. That's
Yeah.
a good one.
That should be the social media paradigm. If you don't ask, you don't get. Eh? No? Okay, no takers.
No, the theme for social media is help other people, and they will develop an affinity for you.
And then you can sell the hell out of them. Oops, you're not supposed to say that. Yeah,
Maybe.
right.
Selling is for after social media.
that's true. That's true.
So myth number 5. Let's move on.
All right.
Send less email.
In the sense that if you bombard people with email, they'll get pissed off with you and basically pull your account. Not true.
Or unsubscribe.
Unsubscribe. Not true. Apparently, the more email you send, the more top of mind you are and say, well, I'll just delete it now. And the next week, it's all about timing, folks. You could be zapping out tweets or zapping out blog posts or zapping out Facebook updates and nobody's responding. And suddenly you hit the right subject at the right time and boom, it explodes. That's a timing thing. So it's all about consistency over long periods of time. I'll talk to a client and saying, hey, you were thinking getting into social media. We're going to do this stuff. We've been tweeting for a week. We're just not happy with the results. So, if you're tweeting for a year and you have no followers, then maybe you got a problem. But if you're tweeting for a couple of weeks, don't be worrying if you've only got like 10, 20 people following you. It's not a big deal.
The myth actually applies to me, though, because if I sign up to someone's list and I get bombarded with emails every day, I unsubscribe. Or I just tune them out.
The reason you
archive
unsubscribe, though,
them.
is because they're not providing you value. They're
Exactly.
selling you in the emails,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Or,
So
or not even that.
Or it's irrelevant to what
or
you
they're
need.
just
Right. If
they're
it's
not even
irrelevant to
selling
you,
their
it's-
own product. They're just
That's even worse,
They've
right?
never even used it, and it's an affiliate product.
Email newsletters, like Seth Godin wrote a book in the early 2000s called Permission Marketing.
Yeah.
Right? It's about how we give people permission for marketing. And that's what email marketing is. We've given someone our email address. We've given them permission to market to us. If we want to be successful in what we do, we need to lead with value. So instead of leading, like the beginning of the email should start with, my target audience is X. In this example, I'm going to use real estate.
Yep.
Okay, so I'm a real estate agent, and my target audience is sellers. So my lead is going to be top 5 ways to increase the value of your home before you sell. And I'm going to list these little reasons and give a little blurb about them. And then below that, I'm going to say, here are my listings. On the right-hand side of the email, I'm going to say, here are my services. And people are going to continue to receive that email and open it with joy because they know it leads with value. And I think
Open it with joy.
Open it with joy. It goes for social. It goes for email. You want to lead with value for people. And you have to give something away to get something in this new space.
But you also have to totally understand your demographic that you're communicating to. And I think that goes all the way back to our earlier conversation about who you are as a personality and understanding who you are and who you're communicating to, so that you don't get
I agree 100% with what you just said. But at the same time, if you get bombarded with emails 2-3 times a day,
yeah, that's a good point.
There-
Frequency is another part of it.
There's an old saying: if you knock long enough and hard enough, somebody will eventually open the door.
that's true, and that's what the stats are showing is that
But
the click-through rate on emails is nothing to do with the frequency. Actually, the more you do it, the better. And it's actually the length of time that they've been subscribed is the longer they've been subscribed, the less it is. So your newer people, you're supposed to like bombard.
But it's also based on the content. And if you're giving them just so content, they're going to get bored with that. They got to click on that, read the headline, say, "Oh, I could use that," and then don't give them 700 words or 2,000 words explaining that particular point. It's like, boom, here it is to the point. Here's the link if you want more information. So they can decide, well, I'm not really ready for that information. But and I've got lots and lots of stuff that I routinely get up in the morning and I'll have 27 emails from all my mail lists and say, no. And I'll delete them all. But the next day, one guy comes in and I'll look and say, oh, that's totally relevant. That's happening later in this week, or the conversation I had later yesterday. Boom, that has value to me suddenly. So it's constantly bringing that subject matter up, slightly different angle, again and again and again.
So can I go back to another topic that we were just talking about?
Sure.
Can I talk about why the word guru is a dirty word?
Well, it's not a dirty word.
No, but it is in social media.
In what sense? Why?
Well, because there are people that claim themselves to be gurus, right?
And aren't.
And they aren't. Or ninjas. Or assassins. Or,
But the whole thing is in the industry, and this has gone on forever.
They're the people that direct message you.
Yeah, but it's more, if you decide to use somebody eventually and they basically screw up, you will never use them again. And if you're out there as a false person, a false personality, selling to a false demographic, they're going to find out. And with social media, boom, it's not like I screwed that person, so only that person knows. Suddenly, everybody in your network knows. Boom, that's it. They just took you down.
But why is guru such a dirty word?
But the point of that was...
Why isn't official a dirty word? Why isn't author a dirty word? I mean, anybody can put words on a paper and say I'm an expert.
No, it's not. It's not guru. I just think guru is just trendy right now.
I think guru is not a dirty word if your fans are calling you guru, but if you're calling yourself a guru, yeah.
Exactly. So you
with the exception of different spelling. Of course.
I heard that word sucks too. I don't even know why anyone would
only if
use
you misspell it, then it's cool.
Magic what?
Oh man!
I put the magic in my product. That's why I call myself.
And that's why you're going to get arrested.
And as the BC insurance maven says, that I have to use her name for that. That you put the goo in yours.
Oh, ouch!
But I mean, okay. I use the name.
Goo are you, dude?
I'm twisted _MAJIC.
All right. Hey. What's your clout score, by the way?
It's a 47 right now.
Whoa. All right. So it's a nice little segue into our next episode. Clout is worthless in the sense that people. Yeah. Well, apparently it's not.
We were actually gaming it the other night. There was a guy that came into a Google Hangout and
gamed it.
Well, no, we were talking about how awesome his beard was, and it actually had a personality almost as much as his own personality. So we went to Clout, and there was about 6 of us in the Hangout, and we all give him +K on his beard.
Yep.
And soon he was on like the medium to high ratio for
beards.
For beards. But then all of a sudden, Clout kicked us off.
Well, there you go.
And kicked off that topic. So it wonders if Clout's actually watching to see if people
it probably has
gaming
algorithms for spikes. Come on, it's his standard. I actually just did an interesting book review on. A guy wrote a book on internet security, and it was when good people do bad things, and it's just about you have a much higher chance of having a security breach from your staff than from a hacker going in.
Totally.
And it's just how to set up your organization so you don't have a firewall approach. Is people can breach your firewall, but once they get into your firewall, there's a whole labyrinth after that where the whole set of permissions. And it was all about monitoring the way people use their workstation and their permissions, so you can see spikes. And it's like, why did that guy delete that particular file and then put it back on and then delete it again? And you'll get a warning, and then you can call the guy and say, hey, Joe, what are you doing? And just, I had a corrupted file, blah, blah. And if he can explain it, then it's not a security breach. But if it is, that's how you're going to catch it.
Just pull a keylogger on his computer.
What Dan Zarella found in the data
this is good, actually.
Is that it's basically a winner-takes-all kind of web. Brands with very high clout scores did astronomically better in terms of inbound links and traffic when compared to brands with mediocre clout scores.
You know what? That goes all about to Kemp talking about a large brand that has a lot of inertia and just using social media to augment their pre-existing billion-dollar brand equity.
Yeah, and I think when you say brand equity, like for the social media space, we might call it community. I know you mentioned that earlier. Like, so if you have an established community, it's going to be a lot easier for you to foster that community and communicate with that community and get them to be your advocates, right? And I think that's pretty key too.
You know, Cam, I have a real hard time with the word community. I think it's misleading. I think
buzzword right now.
Well, yeah, I know, but community for me it means like something that's homegrown and like in your neighborhood.
I'm getting all warm, feeling the room
warm, fuzzy.
Right now. This is literally
this is community.
Tequila, maybe.
Right, but
This is
yeah,
the
exactly.
community.
The tequila does help. Yeah. But I would think believer. But when you're talking about a large brand, I would say believers compared to community.
I would say
you
evangelists.
believe in Coca-Cola,
Advocates.
not or advocates.
Advocates or
Brangelists, I call them.
Brand-
that's a great one.
Brangelists.
Brand evangelists. And it
Brangelists.
has nothing to do with Brangelina, so stay away from that. But it's brand evangelists, people who are
Totally.
Apple, probably number one in that space,
Yes,
right? We got a lot of
absolutely.
Adidas, Nike people. If we want to go to another extreme, let's go Ed Hardy, downtown Vancouver, right?
Oh, it's
these
awesome.
Brangelists are special people.
It's special. Especially when they breathe on you. Oh,
But we call
ouch.
them fanboys in the video game industry.
Well, that's actually the Mac fanboy,
Yeah,
wouldn't it
Mac,
be?
Apple fanboys.
Which is it's a big insult apparently.
I'm a Hootsuite fanboy.
Well, no, it's
Yeah, well, you're biased.
That's how I open up.
Don't
all,
you have a
that's-
disclaimer?
No, I open up all my webinars with a longtime Hootsuite fanboy, short-term employee. So that's not what I laid out as.
Ouch.
No, it's only that I've been there a short time. Soon enough, it'll be long-term.
Long term.
But a fanboy isn't a dirty word either. A fanboy is just somebody that doesn't like another product.
But it's used in a derogatory way.
yeah, in a way.
You know, on the online. So like,
Causes-
he's a fanboy. That's why he's saying that.
It's the
He's a
the
Joomla
default.
fanboy. That's why he pushed that product so
Poor
much.
Joomla, less than 1% of the overall CMS market.
Yeah, I know, but you know the gurus in Joomla kick ass.
That's true, actually. There's a lot of very good sites that are built with Joomla, Drupal.
As
those
well as
less-known
Wix.
CMSs.
You know who else does really good? Wix websites.
Hey,
Is
is that
Wix
our
a sponsor?
sponsor?
Oh, that's a
Hey,
A big shout out to Eric Steinberg of Wix.
Arik,
I wish he was
it's
here
the
tonight.
European pronunciation. by the way.
Arik, thank you.
Well, you know,
Thank you.
it's not that we wouldn't be here without Wix, but it definitely we wouldn't have as many mics without Wix. And not only are they a great supplier of mics, they do an awesome job of providing a free service to create websites. Which actually, for our Joomla guy, it's more of a chagrin moment for him. But he says, in all good thing, it helps people understand what they need to do and what they need to, and when they want to step up to the next level, they're more highly educated. So.
Yeah, and a lot of those people don't have to step up to the next level either. It fills a niche, fills
Yep.
a market. There's
It's a
plenty of
freemium
market
model
for all of us.
It's a freemium model. I mean, the way it works is you go there, you can set up a massive website with all sorts of bells and whistles, and then if you want to pay for it, which is practically nothing, like $60 a year, you get your .com up there. Geez, what else
But
you
hey,
get there?
but you know the really cool thing about Wix is that you can set up a mobile site.
Oh yeah, you
And
got the
There's
free mode.
HTML5
Oh,
in there now, right?
and
It used to
yeah,
be a
they're
Flash
all-
thing. Now
exactly.
They've broadened it and they got the whole
They're
thing.
going HTML5.
That was
for
big.
sure.
That's
Actually, my favorite thing with Wix is the ability to do a micro website embedded inside Facebook for free. And there's guys out there that are charging $250 to do the
So
same thing.
iframes
Or a
like
lot
a
more than
tab,
that.
kind of a custom tab.
No, you just go in there, build a website full on with tabs, the whole 9 yards, and they have this simple walkthrough, and then boom, on your Facebook site, you click on it, and it's a full on website inside Facebook with multiple pages. With here's our photos,
A great
with
example
streaming
is
videos.
is
It's
the
really cool.
Vancouver online optimization page. Eric's group. Meetup
Hey,
group.
what about ours? We've got one too.
And we've got one, the Bunker Project.
Yeah, it's 6 pages long.
You know who
Took
should
me 28 minutes to make it.
You know
The
what?
big thing on those apps and on Facebook is that users on Facebook don't want to leave. So
Yeah.
you can build a store in there. You can do all build
It
your
is
sort of
awesome.
email sign up tab or whatever, and really I've done the testing. It was 2 years old testing, 3 years old, but people don't like to be pushed outside of Facebook.
Yep.
So if you're ever doing any advertising or marketing in Facebook, try and keep them inside. Try and understand that you can customize and build tabs and pages that are going to
Yep.
fulfill all the needs.
And the other thing too is with Wix, you used to have to have a Wix page, like a Wix website, in order to have the mobile version of the Wix page. But now you can do it independently. You can create a mobile version of your website independent of the
That's
Wix
pretty cool.
page. So you could have another platform for your website, and when you go to the URL in the mobile device, it comes up as a mobile optimized page
So
done by Wix.
You know what I
So
say?
that's
Go to Wix, It's free. So sign up, blah, blah, blah. Kind of like Facebook. Sign up, boom, it's free. And play around with it. And if you get stuck, they have an amazing customer service site. They've got a really good Facebook site. You go there and say, blah, 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 I'm having trouble. Their community, and this is what we're talking about tonight, your community will help you sometimes faster than the Wix guy can help you. I mean, that guy is pretty prolific, but really their community is really switched on. And going back to great communities, you know, when you get, like I've got a brother printer, laser printer. The reason I bought it is because it was cheaper than buying the toner cartridges.
In 1992, right?
No, I just bought it the other day because I had. This is how ridiculous printers are. I went down to replace my brother printer cartridge, and they said that's going to cost $180 because you need a new this and a new that. I said, great. You got any printers on special? Yeah, we got this unit here. It's twice the resolution, and it's $113 on special. Does it have a toner cartridge in it? Oh yeah, it comes with a new toner cartridge. Okay, I'll take that. I'm going to throw my old printer in the garbage because, that's so sad. But it was cheaper by $50 to buy a new unit than to buy replacement cartridges. How sick is that?
They give you half.
the corrupt
You
printer
got
society.
half ink well, though. Yeah. You didn't get a full ink well. It's half full.
I know. Who cares? It doesn't matter. It was still $50 cheaper than buying a
Glass
new
is
one.
half full in his eyes.
Exactly. The printer is half
Serious
full.
environmental issues around printers these days.
Oh, it's sick.
It's
sick.
gross because you know what? To buy a new cartridge is almost the same cost. As
No,
a
it was
brand
more.
new
It was
printer.
$50 more than a brand new
exactly.
printer.
And this is it's.
I want to
crazy.
Reel it back in
for a
here,
second.
Zach. You sound like
so,
Bob.
So somebody here, and I'm not going to name names, but said we're using big words.
All right, this is a guy
Yeah.
with a short name.
It's the guy that likes movies. So what big word were we using that you didn't understand?
Cornucopia, I think, was slipped in there. earlier.
Cornucopia? Where the hell did that come from?
Maybe we edited it out, but
But Marcel, how do you do your brand engagement with your thing?
Oh, I have no idea. I'm just starting out. I have
Oh.
a Twitter account. It's awesome.
And how many followers?
100 some odd.
That's pretty good.
Well, if you're using Twitter, you shouldn't use big words.
I actually read.
Doesn't make a lot of sense.
I actually read that if you have over 150 followers, you're in the top 2% of Twitter.
Wow.
Well, hey,
Really?
Yeah.
we're going to.
I want to be in the
Spammers.
bottom
The
2%.
0.001% has 7 members in it.
Didn't we discuss that last week?
No, but we didn't discuss who the members were.
All right. So,
All 7 of
but
them.
I'll make a believer out of all of you.
A believer?
Yeah.
Is that a special word, a believer? Or
Yeah,
believer?
that's what the fans of Justin Bieber call themselves.
Believers.
we're
Believers.
running low on time, but we got a pile of content to get through for next week's episode. And before we move on to next week's episode, we got Marcel here. He's got a blog that we're going to be talking about. We'll start
let's
the
talk
show.
about it next show.
We'll start the show next week.
Absolutely.
But just to give it a little bit of a rundown, he's got a blog. He's it's called themovieyearbook.com.
And he's actually going to pay to watch movies.
He's going to a movie a day for 366 days.
Are they 3D?
In the theaters.
Most of them are.
Oh my God! He's
I
going
know
to
that
pay
guy's a-
$15 a
He's
movie.
going,
That's like
Well, if not, if he goes to the Dolphin Theater because it's $2 Tuesdays,
I know,
$2 to get
you know,
in.
for a 3D movie.
No, who
I
needs
know
3D?
how-
They're just
What did
dark.
you say he was doing?
How hard is it to do a really
Hang on, let the
well-thought-out
guy that's
blog
actually doing
post
it talk.
every freaking day? But before you do it, you have to go to a movie.
Didn't Gary
I'm not even
Vaynerchuk
watching
do
it
that?
at home. You have to go to the movie theater.
I thought Gary Vaynerchuk did that for 2 years.
No, that was wine.
That was wine. He just
That was
drank a
like-
bottle today.
Yeah,
Holiday.
exactly. It was awesome, man. Actually, he spat out most of it, which was the sick
Let's
part.
let Marcel tell us because he does actually not go to a movie every day, right? Marcel, tell us about what you do.
Yeah, well, I actually, I can't really go to a movie every day because I have a full-time job, so it's kind of hard. I am putting a blog post up every day, and I am seeing all the movies within the year. But what I think is awesome, though, is what we've learned here is if I complain about what's going on, I get to promote myself, which is awesome.
Well, actually, if you complain, that will actually drive conversation. Say, this movie sucks, or I hate 3D.
No, I mean, I just made a joke about everyone using big words, and now we're all talking about my blog. And
Oh my God,
you go.
you are brilliant.
Yeah.
All right, so
But we'll hear
what's
more
your,
about
what's
it
your
next.
Twitter account, by the way?
At Movie Yearbook, all
So
one word.
everybody listen to the show.
All
Let's
right.
join him and spike it. All one word.
And,
excellent. Nice one, Kemp.
We'll be back again next week.
With another show. That's show number 475 next. No, hang on. I'm jumping ahead, aren't I?